Alright, so I have my Land Cruiser here, my 1996 Toyota Land Cruiser. I'm taking the fender flares off. You see they're all oxidized and I need to replace those rubber gaskets. So I'm going to go ahead and repaint them and replace the gaskets. I might leave them off if I like the look, but so here we have the rear door. I've already loosened the bolts that hold it on. Go ahead and just open the door here. You're going to have two 10mm bolts here. You have one down here at the bottom, one at the top. Just remove those out. Go ahead and keep them somewhere nice. And then I'm going to probably doing this with my phone, so I'm going to have to use two hands, but I'm going to show you if I can. In there, looks like one clip, plastic clip that's holding it on. If you can try to work it to get it out without breaking it, cool. If not, it's probably only a few cents from the dealer. I'm going to do that off camera. Alright, here's the clips I was talking about. I actually broke them here. That one's almost intact. You can kind of see what it looks like. On the inside of that front part of the rear fender flare, you can see how they're aligned in there. I tried to pop them off, but since they were opposing different ways, I ended up breaking one really bad. And then the other one kind of broke a little bit. Tried to get it off intact, but didn't work so well. So you can see these rubber gaskets are all dorked up here. So I think I might try and weld the holes shut on the fenders, but yeah, I'll think about it. So there's the first part of the front rear fender. And I'll get to the next part here. So the back part of the rear fender, the back part you can see has your mud flap on here. It has one bolt here, I believe it's 8mm, I already took it out. Or you can use a Phillips screwdriver. And then it has all these little 10mm bolts here. So I'm going to go ahead and remove those. And we'll go to the next step. It is getting dark here, so I'm not going to be able to show you much more of this one tonight, but I got my little access panel to the back here where the jack goes. And if you can see back there, there's one stud there, and then see that other little hole back there? That's because I'm already pulling the fender flare off. There's another stud there. You're going to take two of these 10mm bolts or nuts off. And then you're going to also remove underneath the bumper cover here. You're going to go ahead and remove this 10mm bolt right here. And then you should be able, you'll have a couple more clips that hold this on. You'll just pull it right off. Try not to break anything. Alright, the fender flare pulled right off after I unbolted the bottom bolt under the bumper cover there. If you're going to leave your bumper cover on, then you should make sure to put the bolt that holds the mud flap back in on there. I think I'm actually going to keep my fender flares, so I'm just going to go get them repainted and get the new rubber gaskets for them and a couple new plastic clips. So that's the rear fender. If the other side is too much, I'll go ahead and record that, but otherwise I think it's going to mostly be the same. I'll go ahead and record the front side for you here as well. Alright, so to get the fender flare off, I'm going to go ahead and gain access to the bolts for the fender flare. I pulled this turn signal out. What you do is you unscrew this one screw here. I apologize for the shitty filming, but all I have is a phone to use today. And then what you do, it feels like it's not going to come out, and it's just because there's a couple things, a little bit of pressure holding it in. Like you can see right there's one of the things that it pops into. And so you just pull it straight forward, and then you can just let it kind of hang here gently to the side. Try not to bump it or rip these wires out. Yep, so with the turn signal out here, you can reach back in here. I apologize, I'm very backlit in here, but there are 4 studs in there. You could probably reach 2 of them from this front panel from here, and then the other 2 are going to be a little harder, especially with this antenna motor in the way. But where's my hand at? There's an access hole right here, and you should, with a little work, be able to get the other 2 nuts out, and then you should just be able to pull the fender flare right off. So That was not very hard at all. I got all 4 bolts off. I was able to reach 2 from here, and then 2 from the little hole right there by to the right side of that little box there. It was really easy. I was lucky that my vehicle's an Arizona vehicle, so after just breaking the bolts, I was able to get them off with my hand. Also, if anyone wants to trade a stock airbox for this thing, let me know. I'll re-lube and clean that filter for you too. Alright, next step is we are going to remove there's a bolt you can see under this bumper cover here. If you reach up from underneath, there's this 10mm bolt right here, and you can if you're not on the rust belt, you probably can get it off with a Phillips screwdriver. Otherwise, just get underneath here. Once again, I'm sorry about this camera, but get underneath the bumper cover and unscrew that front bolt there. Next, I'm going to take this bolt off here, 10mm, and this one off right here. And I believe there's also one more bolt back here. Alright, one thing you're going to need if you want to take this off, you probably can get to the bolt that holds this on without taking this off, but I'm going to go ahead and take it off. If you can see, this phone blows for recording. Let's see here. You can see down in here, I can't even see, there you go, you can see down in here, there's a nut here, and it is our bolt here, and it's a 13 millimeter. So take that sucker out, and then you'll have this piece off, and that'll let you have nice access to the bolt, the bottom part of the fender flare on. The last bolt we have here is right here, and it's another 10mm. You should get that off, and then you can pull this fender flare off. There she is, pulled her off. When you pull it off, you'll find that there is one clip there. Of course I broke that because I wasn't patient, but there's taken off. So now you can probably take a rubber eraser. First I'd wash it to get all the dirt out of here, pull all the excess gasket off, and wash it really good, and then take a rubber eraser and you probably can get all the glue off of there. There's my fender flare. Next time she goes on, she will be painted either factory color or a different color. I haven't decided yet. If the other side's different, I'll record anything necessary to let you know about that, but it should be mostly the same with a little bit easier access.